All right, so we are here. This is Eagle's Morning Rises Breakfast Show, and this is Eagle's Outlook. Apologies. So much challenges going on with getting the phone up. If you recall that we have not been for some time able to indeed connect via phone call on the second number, and so we try to see how we can, put that together to make it work so that we can have multiple streams of numbers for you to connect with. But we'll just do our best, right, to ensure that this conversation gets on. My name is Udwak Daniel, and yes, this is the political and current affairs probe show on this very platform where we talk politics and current affairs. Now, there has been some conversations around the matter between the VP, Shettima, challenging President Bola Tinubu's power to remove governors. That's right. Okay, some challenging going on there. So this topic of discourse is revolving around Vice President Kashim Shettima's recent statements challenging President Tinubu's power to remove elected governors in Nigeria. Now, Shettima's comments have sparked a heated debate about the limits of presidential authority and the autonomy of state governments. Now, if you recall, in 2013, former President Goodluck Jonathan attempted to remove governors of northeastern states, including Shettima, over insecurity concerns. However, though, the plan was thwarted after senior officials, including the then Attorney General Mohammed Adoke and former Speaker of the House of Representatives Aminu Tambuwal, advised Mr. President at the time that he lacked the constitutional powers to remove elected governors. Now, Shettima's statement is coming on the heels of President Tinubu's decision to remove Governor Simi Fubara of Rivers State, which was later ratified by the National Assembly amid allegations, amid outcry, talks about bribery. Now, this development is raising a lot of questions. Questions about the relationship between the federal government and state governments, especially in cases where president and governors have differing interests. They don't share the same interest. They have interest that is not common to each other, to one another. But then again, there are 4 questions on my mind. 4 questions that should be on your mind. I'm sure 2 out of the 4 would echo your thoughts. If you also recall, up until recently, the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, has mostly represented Mr. President, talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on numerous occasions, especially when it comes to economic summits, going for commemoration, book launches, stuff like that. Vice President has been very, very active in that regard. And he has never failed, for once, to extolling, admonishing us the information, the good heart, the kind heart, the state of the heart of Mr. President about each and every one of us. He has also said the Tinubu administration, the president's reform, is yielding interest, is working. He'll just give us a little time. Mr. President is doing, but here he is, just now, getting if you like, cold jab at his principle, saying that nobody has the constitutional rights to remove an elected leader. No court of law, no constitution has the power. Oh, it has happened to me before, I was almost removed, but then the Constitution had its way. And yet, question will be, you were always supporting your principle before now. You were always like a backbone. Why are you speaking up now? And not then? Could it be as a result of what happened in one of the northern states? And you are deducing that you probably may not be by the president's side come 2027. Is this why you're having this conversation now? Another thing would be, many a time we have seen where when people leave office, they say the immunity clause is probably gone. Is there something you're afraid of? Or is there a ploy to investigating you? I mean, the Vice President I've not pretty seen a lot about him. I mean, it's mostly represented Mr. President every now an opportunity to hear about the Vice President or his on a trip outside the shores of Nigeria, on a courtesy visit, on a bilateral visit, under the command of Mr. President. And yes, that's what we see. But we've not seen pretty much about him. So is there something you are afraid of? Are you thinking about a probe? Is there something you did or something you did not do? Something you said or something you did not say? And then finally, hope that this is not another political mathematics. Let's make them feel like we are not together. Not just so that everybody they just have something to say and everything. But anyways, though, it also brings to limelight the thought of what exactly should be the role of a vice president. Is it about just going on courtesy calls, standing in for Mr. President, or a responsibility that the vice president must undertake given his office and position in governance? Well, let's join our guest, who is in the person of Comrade Gerald Okachi. He's a human rights activist, a public affairs commentator, social analyst, and conflict resolution expert. Welcome aboard, Comrade Gerald. Good morning.
Yes, a very good morning to you and to our wonderful listeners. Thank you for having me this morning.
Awesome. Comrade Gerald Okachi, time is already fast spent, so I won't be talking a lot about this. I want you to give me the most of your perspective view in a discourse as such as this. The vice president has not been talking in this regard before, but why has it not been talking? Number one. Number two, why now? Is this because 2027, according to the political calendar, not the calendar that we follow, by the way, because we know after 2025 is 2026, but they were already heralding 2027 as if 2027 is next year. Is it because he's suspecting that he may not be at the right hand of Mr. President? Also, could this also mean that there are some fears that he has? That, if I am not the right hand man of Mr. President come 2027, will I be investigated? Will there be a probe on me? Will there be a beamer of light, searchlight on me and stuff like that? And then, of course, Nigerians are also thinking to themselves and saying, hope this is not yet another political distraction, another political game between the...
Well, I do not think that it is a political distraction or game or gimmick, to make Nigerians think that they are not together. No. All I think so is that just a recent and a few days ago, the same VP, Vice President, His Excellency Shettima, made comment about Nigerian children being malnourished. 4 out of every 10 children in Nigeria are very malnourished, even in a war zone and all like that.
Yes.
In a government that is involved in. It shows that they crack. It shows that there's a straining relationship. The rumors of him not being considered for the joint ticket of 2027 is gathering momentum. And to both see that Ganduje was made to resign. That from alleged rumors that there are adversaries, to woo Kwankwaso into the APC camp, possibly with a position of a vice as a running mate to Tinubu, just to ensure that the bulk vote that comes from Kano, that is expected to be over a million, almost 2 million votes, is intact. You understand? So it's not, so I don't think it's a gimmick. And we have also seen the reaction of the Northeast APC members, threatening that if Shettima is not considered, the vote from the Northeast will not be what they should expect in APC. And we have had Governor of Borno, stand firm in that regard. So it's a tree that you will tell you will cut that will stand there. If any living thing that is movable hears that attack is coming on him, there are certain expect reaction that you expect such a living thing, talk less of a human being, and that is what I see there. But then, in the context of what President Kashim Shettima have said, if we are facing fact, and if I heard him correctly, was talking about removal of a governor and not suspension of a governor. Talk about removal of a governor. You can get that in the section 188 of the Nigerian Constitution, where it provides lawful means of removing a governor through impeachment by the State Assembly and not directive. Governors or MP posts are not appointee posts, and it can be interpreted in forms because removal and suspension are not the same thing in meaning.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But then you can look at it that in one way or the other, it gives credit, in attempt to show loyalty and in attempt to express gratitude to those who spare his political career, like Andoke Turaki, Ambuwa, and the rest. In attempt to give them credit, he gives credit also to the government of President Goodluck Jonathan as a government that respects the rule of that. Respect our constitutions. As you can see, as at the time that Shettima was governor of Borno State, we actually state of emergency in that state, but it wasn't to the point of removing the state governor. It was declared in certain local government where the terrorists, Boko Haram criminals, hosted their flags in an attempt to take over. You can give him a talk. So to describe shit statement in the light of political meaning, it shows that he's affirming constitutional limits, of president with regards to what they can do, and praising Andoke and Tambuwa for standing for constitutional principles. It reinforces the message that president has no legal authority to remove an elected governor, not even a councillor, as he quoted it. It shows that it is an act of public recognition and loyalty, to those that help, especially the likes of Andoke and the names I have mentioned earlier. He also personified the rule of law as a way forward. That the cracks that is developed, if not put in check, a lot of things can come out of it. Although not explicitly named, the remarks come in the light of recent controversies, including the situation of Governor Fuba State, which you can get from our constitution in section 305, which was widely seen as constitutionally dubious. And Shettima restatement of constitutional restraints appears to distance and his office from such action. And Shettima celebrating Andoke decision is a version of the infamous OPL 245 saga, portraying it as a service to history and transparency and the model for public restart and forgiveness. So is a subtle signal to political actors by highlighting how rule of law prevailed, even under political pressure. Of course, there are certain parameters by which you can remove a governor or even a councillor. You know, Shettima sent a quiet message to those in power. Legitimacy stems from constitutional boundaries, not from political expediency. You understand? So some of these reasons he portrayed shows us that presidency under actually, did not get it right with regards to suspension of power and the state assembly, especially when he did it before going to the National Assembly to seek support or endorsement. Whereas it's supposed to be that you move it to a National Assembly for them to gazette it, for them to give a legal backing to it. But in this circumstance, he did it before going, to the National Assembly to acquire the support that is needed.
All right. Well, in the sense of this, in the light of this, I mean, some other questions have also popped up. Why now? Why Shettima talking now? Is this as a result of what would have transpired some time ago in the north, in one of the northern states, where he was not named as the as a vice to Mr. President come 2027? And others are saying, hey, could this also be another political game? Well, you already made that clear that it's not a game, that you believe that there are cracks within the APC in this regard. And how will this indeed lead us into how APC would fare, especially with an ADC that is gearing up for 2027 general elections?
Plus or minus, looking forward, a personal opinion, I think Tinubu has the chances of winning 2027 more than any other aspirants. You know why I say so?
Why?
The APC that have just come together, or the political gladiators that just want to use ADC to advance their cause in removing Tinubu, have different interests, which have the capacity of splitting their votes. A situation where the likes of Atiku Abubakar is insisting that he will contest, and of course you have the likes of Rotimi Amechi expressing his interest, of course Mr. Toby. Certainly, if they go to primaries, which is expected by the democratic settings, and three of them go into primaries in ADC, P2B will not stand a chance. And then, if P2B pulls out from coalition, it certainly means that they will split their votes. That aside, if Tinubu, whom many believe that the former presidency of Muhammad Buhari did not give support to, as at the time they were preparing for primaries, was able and managed to survive the shenanigans and political that we are involved in there to emerge as a flag bearer for APC, irrespective of a lot of gimmicks that even the then CBN controlled by Godwin Emefiele believed to be targeted at Tinubu with regards to using Naira to buy Naira. How much more now? Yes, he has caused untold hardship. Nigerians are more angry against APC than ever. But if you look inward, there are some things you can give Tinubu's flower. If you are the type that travel the road, you will give him flowers for the massive infrastructural development. Not the type that by road you use what is happening in LCT, if you are in LCT, to use it as a yardstick to gauge his performance in regards to covering these infrastructural deficiencies and inadequacies we have had in the past in successive governments. You look at education, something that we have not really enjoyed with regards to student loan. You know, instead of personally, I'm doing other courses, but I'm not enjoying it because I'm doing it in a private. I pray that they will consider sending it to private schools. But it's a relief to Nigerian parents, to Nigerian citizens. You know, you look at the credit comp that he's doing. There are a lot of things he's trying to do to cushion the effect of what he created. I believe if we give him time, maybe there will be some smiles at the end of it. But then, having said that, I expect more of this because the crack that going on with the president and the vice president, no matter how they deny it, no matter how they try to downgrade it or downplay it, if it's not put back, it may be worse than what happened in 2002. Between 2002 and 2000, between Obasanjo and Atiku. We had at a point, it was reported that Obasanjo had to go on his knees to beg Atiku to allow him to do a second term. Similar thing may happen because if maybe the Jagaban, as they call him, the president and commander-in-chief, you know, he used his calculation as being so high, and the capacity of the vice president, maybe there may be surprises. That is what I think, and that's what I believe. As of today, we have seen how he tried to compensate Ganduje because the comes from Ganduje. We are fuming and very, very angry with us to removal of the forcing him to resign. We saw the recent appointment as the head of the board of FAN, you know, trying to persuade him. Initially reported that he was to be made ambassador and to be sent away, but it appears like they rejected it. So it's neither here nor there. There's no way you compare the board given to Ganduje to that of national chairman of the party. It's a relegation or downgrade if you put it, but you just want him to be in the corridors of power so that he not like he has been utterly removed. So if such cracks continues to break, in the past, since the formation of APC, especially under Buhari up to date, it appears like they find it difficult to elect the national chairman. It has always been appointment. After Oshomole, they brought in the Boni guy from governor, you know, to manage it. Even to the appointment of what's his name, the former Nasarawa state governor, to be the next. Some of the agreements they reached to making some of the actors who wanted to contest for chairman, including the SGF, which is Akume, and many others, Boniface. Part of the agreement they reached, they didn't honor it. And part of the agreement is return the money they pay for the nomination form, give them tickets for political offices they want to vie, which has led some of them to take a APC. We talk now, one of the aspirants for that national chairmanship of APC is still in court with the party. And it has continued to be appointment. So you think such a thing cannot create crack, and now such a thing is heading into presidency. If it's not properly managed, it has the capacity of removing President Bola Tinubu from office in 2027.
Well, there are some speculations that the president winning also during the 2023 elections was partly because of his running mate, talking about Kashim Shettima, who is from the north, and that it will be almost irresponsible, it will be undecorating, it will be sad to think that the president will have a fair outing come 2027 should he let go of Kashim Shettima. Do you agree?
Well, it depends on the political calculation. You know, as at the time he went with Kashim Shettima into the 2023 general election, I think APC was up to 19 or 21 votes, you know, then, and it is expected that this state will deliver for the party. But sadly and surprisingly, out of over 19 states they had then, they were able to manage 12 states, and the 12 states they manage, including River State that APC is not in control of, and other states that they were not in control of. Meaning that those APC states really flocked for them. Areas where they expected to have huge numbers of votes, which their number of votes in most cases, supersedes more than 2 states put together or 3 states put together, especially in that northeast. That's a state like Kano from the northwest. It's a key area. They never expected to grant the way they lost in Kano. We are NNP, one state with a margin, whereas they have a state controlled by APC Ganduje. So perhaps in those calculations that putting in place, which if not, properly managed, because the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is making a lot of political rather than technical calculation with regards to innovation and initiatives that can propel the country forward. He tries to use appointment to settle his political athletes or disciples, and that's what he's doing. So I look forward to seeing the outcome, because if they succeed in removing, if they succeed in dropping Shettima, one way or the other affect the party. If they fail to drop Shettima and maybe they're unable to get one person to join the attack, understand? It also affected, because for the part of the advancement proposal to get Kwakwaso, they have made a candidate to resign his position. A position he resigned, we expect that the North Central that have not reached their tenureship at the chairmanship of have not been considered. And likely in their next convention, they may not consider going for election. They may consider appointment, just like they have done in the past. Just to, whittle down the cracks. So we are watching as observers and analysts to see the outcome of what decision they take and what they will not take. But as for me, if I'm to give advice, even though that if I give advice, I may be writing invoices to the person. There shouldn't be any reason should be, shoveling or removing a winning team. A bird at hand, the famous quote is always better than the plenty that is in the bush. The angel is better than what you don't know. That is my view. Because those calculations you may go in may flop you at the end of the day. If the likes of Malam El-Rufai that stood fervently and strong behind the Southern candidate, especially Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the last general election, is not saying another thing. We don't know how it will be.
Okay.
I think he should extend the fellowship to cover ground that is already expanding.
Yeah, let's put it back to your thoughts and take this call. Hello, good morning.
Mr. Dua, good morning.
Yes. Honorable Edwards. Yeah.
Yes, my name is Edward from Napo.
Awesome. Talk to us.
Honestly speaking, our guest has analyzed that. If I may ask, just the way he asked, why is this thing coming up now? Why is this thing coming up from the vice president? Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, our guest has said everything. He's a very good. He knows what is happening in Nigeria, and like just what he said. I want to repeat it again. APC has a better chance to win. Even if they are not going with Tinubu, they have a better chance to win. Because I can't see Peter Obi stepping down for Atiku. America stepping down for Peter Obi And if you go to a state, like in my own state, it's the same thing. So the coalition is dead at arrival. So Mr. Vice President should find a way, to convince. Let me tell you something, Mr. Vice President is behind the crisis. Behind the crisis in APC. We know all those things. Most of the things happen these things. He's behind, I am saying this live, he's behind the crisis. That is why his people disown him in that meeting. I appreciate our guest. Thank you.
Honorable, thank you. Honorable Edwards, thank you. I should take this one coming from Samuel all the way from Kuje now. Says, for me, what the Vice President is saying now did not come to me as a surprise. They have been covering up all these while pretending to work together when they are not. Why is the Vice President speaking out now? Only time will tell. Please, they should tackle the insecurity that have been ravaging the country and stop this hit and hide game they are playing. All right, thanks. He says, taking this one. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Yudi.
Yes, 30 seconds.
Good morning to our guest.
Felix, yes.
Felix from Lambert.
30 seconds if you can, please, Felix.
Yes, the calculations are on from both sides. The opposition are calculating, then the incumbent, the party in power also calculating. But let me tell you one thing. They are all the same. Nigerian politicians are the same. They don't trust the electorate anymore. As much as the electorate don't trust them also. And they know that the personnel in each party know how to play the game to the letters. If it is rigging, they will match you with rigging. If it is money, both the opposition and the party in power have the finance. So they can manage themselves. Now you can see that the party in APC is jittering somehow over the caliber of people who are forming this coalition. But to me, they don't have to be. If they are doing what they promise the people, if they are delivering, if they are giving the people the dividends of democracy, they will not have to. They will not have to fear over this set of opposition.
Okay, Felix.
All they need to do is to wear the instrument of EFC. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Felix, for that one, though. But yeah, just before we take a leave, though, if you also recall, Comrade Gerald, there has also been conversations where we saw on the front page where the Vice President has said, whether it is APC, ADC, NNPP, PDP, it says we are all one. I mean, and that statement really, really cuts deeply into the political structure as we have it in Nigeria today. And about 129 political parties now have registered via the INEX online portal for party registration and all. I mean, just to crown it up, a voice of Mbise from Okwato saying that for him, says that the disagreement between Shettima and Mr. President over emergency rule is in Rivers is a clear indication that something is cooking, and in due time it will be displayed to the public. Says this disagreement is a very powerful one. We can't wait to see the end of the drama. All right, okay, so this is where I would pull the plugs. But if you have something to add to the place where Vice President has said ADC, PDP, NNPP, APC, that we're all one, we're just one, what do you make of that?
I think it's back subtle, indirect message sent to the presidency by the DP, which conveys every political scientist to know that the crack is deepening. Let's not just pretend about it. You understand? It shows that because of the kind of politics we play in 2023, occasioned by Wike, which has become a cancer that is affecting all the political parties in Nigeria, where you can be in one political party and you are supporting another party. That is what it is.
Okay.
It's not even the coalition that have just been formed. The likes of P2B and others are claiming that they are still in PDP. They don't want to say still in LP, but he will work for ADC. You understand? If you begin to hear comments like that, it shows you that even the anti-party or party supremacy or discipline has been eroded. So it goes to tell you that if you did not take decision that does not favor the vice president, the chances that he will be party, fake loyalty, and the work against you is there.
Okay.
So it's neither here nor there. The time will tell, and we are here waiting patiently.
Time will tell, and we are here waiting patiently now. I'm going to wrap up with Tekenbi Hundu's message where he says, I greet the guest. I'm in Nasarawa State. Shettima stand on removing a governor. The president claimed Fubara was only suspended. All this was done to enable Wike have his way and ask Fubara to sign unholy agreement. I blame the National Assembly leadership for failing to stop Tinubu. All right, that's what Tekenbi is saying. Well, I see more calls coming through. Won't take it this time, but I apologize again for what went down. A little bit of technicality going on. All of that was just to ensure that this prog show goes on well. But at the 10 o'clock hour, I'll be back to have more conversations. Comrade Gerald, I mean, this conversation is still an unfolding conversation. And as quite a number of family members are saying, we are sitting back and we want to fold our arms and just wait and see, because it seems like we will see a lot coming on, in this regard. Thank you. Yeah.
Just in 30 seconds.
Yes.
I think the jab that VP just threw is not just on the presidency. He, softly and smoothly, without shooting gun, threw some shots at the National Assembly for what majority of Nigerians believe them to be as a rubber stamp National Assembly.
Okay, all right. Okay, as I see it now, I think this is really getting really hard. I mean, maybe now I believe that 2027 is here, because to my mind, I thought it was going to be a 2026 conversation, but here we are. We're already talking 2027. But don't worry, 10 o'clock, I'll be right back. Thanks to you for being a part of this one. You want to go and have a review of this conversation, get on Facebook, get on YouTube, and you will find, and let's drag that conversation there.
No offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other